right, this morning or afternoon, we're going to be talking to a distinguished Nigerian in the diaspora, in the person of Dominic Carlo. I'll tell you about Dominic Carlo. He is the founding member of the Take Back Niger group. I don't know if you've heard about Take Back Niger group, but he is one of the founding members of the group. And he is calling us from Maryland, USA. Hello, Dominic Carlo. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you for the catch. Good to be here. It's good to be here. Thank you.
All right. Let's get right into it. Dominic Carlo, please tell us a little bit about yourself and the Take Back Niger group. What is it all about?
All right. My name is Dominic Carlo. I'm calling from Maryland, USA, like you've alluded earlier on. I'm a member of the Take Back Niger movement. Niger began, I think, about nobody. That was when P2B was still in PDP, actually. So we came together, me and some other guys. I don't know if you've heard about Jack. Jack is the co-founder of the movement, actually. We came together and then we said that the election this year is going to be critical to the survival of Nigeria. Has to survive beyond 2022. Have someone who understands what governance is. From all indications, was P2B. So when he was still in PDP, we formed Take Back Niger. That was basically to make sure that we forced Pete at that time, So we came together, we formed the movement, and we began creating structures. Right now has branches in almost all the states in the country, and we have people who are coordinating those states. Take Back Niger also has branches in the diaspora. Like in the USA, we have a lot of branches in California, and then so to take back our country. Our country has been a sort of leadership failure. So we be able to take back our country and then give it back to the people that it belongs to, which is the Nigerian people. And that taking back our country starts with installing a good leadership, because we believe that everything rests and falls on leadership. So P2B represents everything that Take Back Niger looks for in a leader. So that's how we came to be, actually.
Okay, tell me more about this thing that you say Take Back Niger and the best choice for Nigeria right now.
Oh yeah, so P2B is like it's a group of book. Everybody in Nigeria right now, I know him. Everyone knows him. Now, one thing that I like about him was his transparency. He's been able to tell you what he did, both in his private, life, and then in his life as a governor of Anambra State, a former governor of Anambra State, and then being able to tell you to verify. He gives you data and he tells you to verify. There is no politician right now who can make such a bold statement that P2B makes. And we've also gone to make our research and found out that all the things he said he did, he actually did. From about 27 to 1. P2B saved over 75 office, and he never owed any worker. He never owed any pensioner. He never owed any contractor. That also has been verified. So we looked at him and then we said, this guy is a different breed from the crop of people we have. People got into government to enrich themselves, but this man got into governance to, enrich the people, to work for the people. All right. So we looked at all these parameters, and then we said, no, this guy has to be the person. P2B has integrity. P2B, has empathy. That is very key, because if you're not empathic, if you don't have empathy for the people you're leading, then you can basically do nothing. P2B has empathy. He has human feeling, because we live in a society, or in Nigeria, where it looks as though our politicians are heartless, as it were. They don't have a heart for the people. They only get in there for themselves. Yeah. But this is different from who P2B is. Everybody has seen it. We all know it. And then we believe that he was the one, or he is the one best suited to take Nigeria to where Nigeria ought to be in the global perspective. Now, just to also divert a little bit. The reason why I even got so much interested, because I'm not a politician actually, I'm just a person who wants Nigeria to get better. I was in a class during my master's in public health, and then we were having a lot of classes and all that. And anytime there was something negative, be it talking about communicable diseases, non-communicable diseases, anytime they brought something negative, Africa must be mentioned. Nigeria must be mentioned. It was crazy to me, because I was like, what? Even the conditions I considered as, the white man's, condition, diseases and stuff like that, they were even more common in a country like Nigeria. And being in that class, I was so embarrassed, to say the least. I was very embarrassed, being a Nigerian, because everything negative came out from our part of the continent. So I said, no. The reason why this has been happening is because we've had, crop of leaders over the years that do not care about the country. Nigeria is blessed. Nigeria is rich. Nigeria is, blessed with a lot of things. But we need someone who can channel these resources in the right direction. So that's why
I think I agree with that. Yeah. But in agreement with what you're saying, Chinua Achebe once said that the problem of Nigeria is her leaders. So I totally understand that. But before you started telling us about your experience in class, you mentioned how P2B has achieved so much while he was the governor of Anambra State. So there's a question I want to ask, and it's been coming from the opposition, will I call them the critics of P2B. They said that it's one thing to do this in a state. How about taking that achievement to a national scale, that they don't think P2B has the capability to replicate his achievements while he was the state governor on a national scale now?
Well, when you apply for a job, all right, the company applying to, they look at your experiences, right? They look at what you've done in the past. And I'm sure, just like every other person, when you're applying for a job, when you're leaving your current job, you're going for something higher. And it is your experience in your current job or the job you've done previously that will either make the company to, want to hire you or not. P2B has done this at the state level. There is nothing difficult replicating the same thing at the national level. He has done it on a small scale. Now, just to divert a bit, P2B has experiences in the business world. He has run institutions like banks. He has been everywhere. He has gone to the best schools of the world. So I don't know what else you expect in a leader that P2B does not have. Now, when P2B became the governor of Anambra State, it's on record that Anambra was the most ungovernable state in Nigeria at that point. The most ungovernable. The whole place was a complete, total mess. But within his time as governor, he turned the whole situation around. So anybody who is saying P2B does not have experience at the national level. That is not what we need. I mean, the people that have so-called experience at the national level are the ones that have kept us where we are today. So we don't need that dirty experience. We need somebody who has a track record that is verifiable, that we can trust, and that has empathy. Thank you.
I'm going to confirm and accept that what you're saying is pure truth, because someone was mentioning to me the other day how P2B was the only political office he held was the state of Anambra State governor, and then he was listing the political positions that opposition party has held in the past. I mean, Tinubu was the former governor of Lagos State. Atiku was, held the political position as well as vice president and all that. But we need to look at the differences here, because you said something very important. You said that Anambra was an ungovernable state, but Lagos has always been an elite state. Lagos has been doing well. You can't use Lagos to compare with Anambra and what Anambra was experiencing at that time. So you can't use someone that we already had warehouses, we already had what was it called, import exports going on in Lagos State, to a state where security was the issue, and they were even kidnapping the governor as of that time. And in conclusion, in addition to what you said, you also said that P2B within how many years just changed everything, especially education. I agree with that. But I have a question, and it's gotten from what I've heard the P2B's critics, or will I say the opposition, say. They made mention of corruption, and how P2B said that to treat corruption is the easiest thing. And now, how many people, I want to ask you a question now, the people that are in P2B's government, how many people do you think are actually not corrupt? Do you think it's possible for P2B to actually eradicate corruption in a country as Nigeria, where corruption has eaten deep into our blood? How possible is this?
All right, just to correct something first off, P2B does not have a government yet. All right, so he's not the president yet, but come 25th of February, he's going to be the president of Nigeria. But he has people who are working with him right now. Okay, he has team members. Now, those team members may or may not form part of his government. So we can't really say, oh, these are the people
they may
who would
form,
run
or they may not form part of his government. Are you saying that?
Sorry?
Are you saying that those people that his team leaders now, that there's probability that they will not form part of his government?
Of course, they may or may not. All right, because knowing who P2B is, he is not someone who there was political loyalty or anything. No, if you're not fit for the job, he will not employ you. That is who he is. P2B always looks for the best. He gathers the best team. From what I learned, during his time in Anambra State, he didn't engage in nepotism, trying to get people to do something they are not qualified to do, even though they were close to him. So P2B is the kind of person who will always go for the best person for a job. All right. So I am very, very confident he's going to assemble the best team ever to run the government with him.
Okay. Sorry to cut you short, but I think it's important that people know this, because I feel like from the conversations that I've had with some people, they are campaigning for P2B because they want to get a particular position when he enters the seat. Do you understand? They want to make P2B see, okay, this is what we are doing to help you. This is how we are campaigning. This is the effort that we are putting. So when that time comes, there's an opening for them in a political office. And so are you trying to say that you have to actually be confirmed, and you actually have to have that credit and merit for you to be able to work with P2B, or you just have to show that you are supporting him and then that's a ticket in?
Yeah, what I'm saying is that before P2B can employ you to do a job, you have to be qualified for that job. He's not going to get you into his team because you were part of his campaign. For instance, a lot of us, we've spent a whole lot. We spent our money, we spent our time, we spent everything And what we are doing is not to get people to recognize us or to reward us when he wins. No, that is not the essence. The essence is to make sure we rescue our country. Our country is collapsing. You know, it's the rescue. I am fighting, for instance, for myself and my family. If Peter Obi wins, I'm the one that will have won. My family will have won. Nigeria will have won, as it were. All right. So anybody who is in his team right now thinking that, oh, when Peter Obi gets in, he will make me this, he will give me this, he will give me contract and stuff. Peter Obi will not do that. He will never do that. I mean, that is the precedence he has established. And I'm very confident that that will not change. If you're not qualified for a particular job or a position, it does not matter whether you were part of his team during the campaign or not. You are not going to get that job. He is going to make sure, he and Datti are going to make sure that they assemble the best team to do the job, because Nigeria requires or needs a deliverer, as it were, right now.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Dominic. You are beginning to sound like a spokesperson of the OiDatti campaign. I'm wondering if you have been employed to be a spokesperson for the OiDatti campaign. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be going on a very short break now, but when we come back, we still have Dominic Carlo all the way from Maryland, USA, and we'll be talking to him about the role the diasporans are playing in this particular election. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
So, this is my message to the Nigerian youths. I am glad that we have this great opportunity to discuss about the future of this country, Nigeria. Nigeria belongs to all of us, but to the youths most especially. I am super proud of what the youths have done, the realization that indeed the power lies with the youth. Indeed, successive governments and leadership have failed the youths. They've dismissed their capacity, the creativity, innovation, and this is why we are where we are. I am here to speak to you that not only am I proud of you, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, is super proud of you. We are proud of the movement you're leading and all the sacrifices being made for a better Nigeria. I can tell you, Peter Obi means well for Nigerian youths. He will run a youth-inclusive government and purposeful leadership that will usher in a new dawn for generations to come. Job issues, unemployment, and indeed all the other hazards that we face as a younger generation, I believe will be a thing of the past, at least reduced significantly. I'm here to remind you that we are the last lap of this race, when we all need to come to the consciousness that the effort we're going to put in the next coming weeks can change our trajectory completely and positively. So I want to urge you, do what you can to keep on the fight until a better Nigeria is achieved. You need to make sure that you realize again that you're actually the one running for presidency, just using Peter Obi and Datti Baba Ahmed as symbol. We are coming for a better Nigeria. This is time to vote for Labour Party. The logo is Papa, Mama, Pikin, or LP. On that day, come out in mass, show your energy, show your creativity, do everything you need to do positively to make sure your votes count. That means wait until the end. I am thankful to God for what the Nigerian youths are doing. God bless you all. Thank you.
Diaspora Diary on OiDatti Family TV. All right, today we are looking at the role of the diasporans in the coming election. We have joining us from Maryland, USA, Mr. Dominic Carlo, who is a founding member of the Take Back Niger group. All right, Mr. Dominic, we'll continue with the conversation. And like you mentioned earlier, you're a founding member of the Take Back Niger group. Would like to know what exactly is the Take Back Niger group, or Dominic Carlo and other diasporans staying in the Maryland, the USA? What are you guys doing concerning these particular elections?
Thank you for the question. First of all, I want to start by saying that those of us in the diaspora understand the import of this election. We understand how important this particular election is. For me, this is a make or my moment for Nigeria. You know, Nigeria is on the brink right now, so it's a make or my moment for us. If we don't get it right this time around, I don't know when else we're gonna get it right. So we understand that, and for me personally, that's why I got involved in the first place, because we need to rescue this country. Now, let me just talk about some of the things we've done. You know, as a member or part of the TBN. If you remember, several months ago, we held what I call the 1 million man march. You know, that gave birth to the obese movement, the obedient movement, you know, as it were. That program or that project was conceived by us at the Take Back Niger. You know, few of just the leadership of the Take Back, we discussed it. We brought the idea, and then we said, okay, this is what we want to do right now. We want to make this man very popular in the streets of Nigeria, because they were calling us, you know, Twitter people and stuff like that. And then we approached few other support groups, like the PCOS and some, you know, few other support groups actually, like Minds for P2B, rest of them. And then we shared the vision with them, and then they bought into it. In fact, the very first meeting we had, I chaired it, I moderated the meeting, you know, we had. And then from there, we formed a coalition, what is now called a coalition for P2B, you know. We formed that and then held that 1 million march. That was what brought into people's consciousness the obedience movement, as it were. So from that perspective, P2B became, or the movement began, you know, from that moment on. Okay. Now, beyond that, we've done a whole lot of things. In Take Back Niger, we are self-funded actually. You know, when we started, we were tasking ourselves, contributing money, you know, doing things, printing posters, printing banners, printing a whole lot of stuff. And then we established state chapters, local government chapters, and world chapters. And we have coordinators in all those places. Now, we did all those to make sure we get the obedient message down to the grassroots. So what we did was, after establishing those chapters, we began sending them materials, you know, posters, banners, stickers, and a whole lot of stuff, you know, we've been doing. And the current student town hall series that is going on, you know, Take Back Niger is a major driver of that town hall, of that student town hall. Take Back Niger is a major driver of the town hall. You know, we began the idea of town hall, and then before we now progressed into making it a student town hall. It used to be a youth town hall in the past, but we made it a student town hall. Now, apart from that, we are contributing our money, we are contributing our time, and then most importantly, we are influencing our families' political behavior.
Okay.
Because since we cannot vote, since those of us in the make sure that family members who are in Nigeria, you know, pick up their PVCs and vote for the right candidates. And I tell you, we tell them who to vote for. Actually, we tell them who to vote for. We don't tell them pick up your PVC and vote for your. No, we tell them this is who to vote for. And for me, everybody in my family, I make sure that they got their PVCs. You know, my cousins, my aunties, I make sure that they got their PVCs, and then I told them the person to vote for. And other people, you know, so others in the diaspora are doing the same thing as well. So that is a big thing. I hope and pray that in the next election, we'll be able to vote. Because I tell you, if those of us in the diaspora can vote, this election will have been over by now, you know, because it will be, you know, it will have been over actually by now. But yeah, that is, those are some of the things we've done so far. All right.
Okay.
We are still doing more. Actually, there are still some programs or some projects in the pipes that we are planning, you know, between now and 25th of February.
Okay, I'll plead with you to keep some of the sensitive plans that you have, okay, for the campaign so that the opposition don't steal it. Okay, but we understand now that the battle, these elections, especially for Mr. Peter Obi, will be fought in the north. Okay, because it's already general knowledge that Peter Obi is quite popular in southern Nigeria. Okay, we know that he's also popular in the north, but because of the other political opposition parties are quite very strong in the north. I want to know, is there something that the Take Back Nigeria group is doing to sensitize the people in the north and reach out to the grassroots and make sure that people vote and we get that 25% that we need in the northern states?
I just want to ask you, aren't you surprised at the crowd, as it were, P2B is gathering right now in the north? Like, everybody was shocked. For me, it looks as though he gathered more crowds in the north than in the south, during his rallies. The way, from what I've seen, those were largely due to what Take Back Nigeria did. So like I told you earlier on, we made sure that we had chapters in all the states, and our target mostly was the north. So we have people who are coordinating several states in the north right now. And beyond the state coordinators, we have LGA coordinators, we have ward coordinators. These are the people who are taking the message down to the grassroots. All right. So we are not just online, we're not just on Twitter. We are behind the scene. We are doing a whole lot to reach out to the people in the grassroots. And that is by putting our people there, putting our coordinators there and our members there in all those places. And that is what we are, what we continue to do. In the north, we also partnered with other support groups, and we are doing a whole lot of things together. For instance, sending down materials. I had a meeting yesterday with my team, and then somebody from the northern, one of our connectors in the north told us of some things he needed, materials and stuff like that, to be able to send down to the grassroots, to the people in the villages and stuff like that. I said, okay, that's what we do. Right now, we are in the process of printing thousands of posters, thousands of handbills, thousands of banners to send down to those places. So just to make sure that they get to know who P2P is and they get to know what Labour Party stands for. So those are the things we are doing. But like I said, there are other things that are in the pipeline right now that I may not be able to share with you here until I discuss with my team about that.
Okay. I think it's absolutely lovely what your support group is doing or has been doing so far. I wanted to ask you a question, but I see that you touched it when you were answering your former question. I wanted to find out how the support group is reaching to people at the grassroots level. And you mentioned about ward leaders and canvassers, things like that. And that's pretty amazing. But we know in the north, most of these people they don't have the privilege of being on social media or having any access to a smartphone. So I want to really understand the strength of these ward leaders or the people that you're sending directly to the grassroots, that is rural areas, people that do not have access to mobile phones, people that do not have access to internet or are not on social media at all. What is their strength? Because it's one thing to just send like 3 people or 2 people to a community that has over 1,000 number of people there. So how is the strength? What is the number of the people, the strength of the people that you are sending to these grassroots and to these rural areas in the north?
So we have a whole bunch of people we are sending down to the grassroots. So what happens is that when we send our people, they go there and establish a chapter. Like I said, we had LGA chapters, we have ward chapters even. Okay. So what happens is when the materials get to those guys at the ward level, all right, they will do what we call them, this Jehovah Witness style of evangelism, going from
door to door.
Door to door, yes. I'm telling you. Because at this point in time, we have to take it by violence,
By fire, by force.
Actually, yeah. So they do this door to door, knocking on the doors and stuff like that. And we've also established a call center where we reach out to these people when they meet people and then pick up their contacts and numbers and stuff like that. We call them, we send them messages just to keep them in the know that, see, this is what is going to happen. And I tell you, even though they are not on social medias, most of the people in the know, they know what's going on. They know what is happening. I mean, they are feeling the injustice. They are feeling the insecurity. They are feeling the economic, problems we are facing in Nigeria. So they know that, see, come 2023, something has to happen. There has to be a shift. They understand that. All right. Though we may not get all the votes, but we are very confident that Obi will get the necessary vote he needs to win the election in the North.
Beautiful. And I think from what you're saying, I'm seeing attributes of what Peter Obi did when he was the governor of Anambra State. I mean, in the educational sector, the time where you mentioned earlier that Anambra State ranked number 27 in WAEC examination results. And we know that before they became the first position, he had to do a whole retraining. He was training the teachers, he was training the students as well. So we see how he implemented this particular strategy that the diaspora support groups are implementing now. So I just wanted to comment that is awesome.
Okay, Mr. Dominic, let's come back to Nigeria now. Considering the fact that we have so many tribes and religions, these are the things that divide us. In fact, someone has said that Nigeria is a committee of nations inside one nation. Okay. A lot of people are still going to vote based on tribe, religion, ethnicity, and what have you. Okay. Do you think that Peter Obi is able or will be able to break all these boundaries, and reach out to everyone, even though he has said it? We hear him say it all through his campaign rallies that don't vote for me because I'm Igbo or because of my religion, vote for me because of I'm competent and, all of that. But do you think that this is going to be a real thing in considering the Nigeria of today? Have we woken up? Have our eyes open? Have we suffered enough? Using Charlie Boy's a phrase, our mumu don't do. Do you think that we are ripe enough for the candidacy of Mr. Peter Obi?
Wow. I want to start by saying that Peter Obi has really broken through, when it comes to reaching out to the people from other regions of the country, especially those from the North. Peter Obi is a candidate who cuts across religion, cuts across ethnic affiliations. All right. The support I'm seeing for Peter Obi from the North surprises me. I must tell the truth. It surprises me. Our political elite, they use religion, they use ethnicity to divide us for their own political gain, for their own selfish interest. But Peter Obi is somebody who presents himself, and we know he presents as a national candidate, as a candidate of the whole of everybody, every Nigerian. All right. Now, it's going to be difficult to completely shatter that wall, those walls of religion and ethnicity and the rest of them. It's going to be difficult, right? But he has done a great job so far. The support I'm seeing, I'm telling you, the support I'm seeing for Peter Obi from the North, from people from other religion, ethnic groups and stuff like that, it's amazing. That means we've come a long way. We didn't anticipate that. We didn't envisage it, at the start. But right now we've come a long way. I'm sure also that between now and 25th of February, a whole lot will be done. A whole lot will be done. Like I said, what is going on in Nigeria touches everybody.
Yes.
Whether you're a Muslim or you're a Christian or you're whatever you are, it touches everybody, feels it. Everybody feels it right now. So people understand that, see, if I have to vote for somebody from my place just because the person is my tribesman, but I know that the person is not fit for the job, then I'm doing myself. because a whole lot of Northerners are killed. You know, a whole lot of Northerners are poor. A whole lot are, you know, so everybody is feeling it. So people are beginning to see and understand that CEO, we need someone who is fit for the job.
Exactly.
And that is why we've seen a whole lot of support for P2B from the northern part of the country.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for that, because you just said the pure truth. But there is something that I want to, not like I want to understand, I want others to understand, people who are watching. There's this comparison that went on about P2B and former President Goodluck Jonathan. Some people were saying they were trying to compare what is happening now to what was happening then, because during the campaign for Goodluck, former President Goodluck Jonathan, we saw how a lot of people, also from the north, from the east, from the west and south, were supporting him. And when we finally had him as our president, a lot of people would agree that he didn't, he didn't meet up to the expectations, these kind of the high standard that people placed or what people expected of him. He wasn't able to deliver that. And we know that Goodluck Jonathan was coming from a good place. He had good intentions for Nigerians. But now, this comparison between Goodluck Jonathan and P2B, what is different? What makes P2B different from former President Goodluck Jonathan?
You know, I don't really appreciate the fact that people compare P2B with our politicians. You know, for me, P2B is distinct. Look at his track record. I mean, is open. I didn't know much about Goodluck. I didn't know what he's done before he became the president. I didn't know, you know, his antecedents and all that. But right now we know P2B. We know what he's done. We've seen it. It's confirmed. It's verified. As he will always say, go and verify. So I was one day thinking to myself, are we sure P2B is from Nigeria? Are we sure? I mean, this guy is completely different. He's completely, in all aspects, is different from the current and the past crop of politicians we've had in this country. All right. This is the guy who understands what governance is. He has done it before. He's the only person who can tell you that he never took 1 naira, you know, when he was a governor from Anambra State Post. Never. And nobody has ever disputed that fact. He's the person who can tell you, since I left government, Anambra State has not bought me, you know, a bottle of water. There is no other person who can stand and say such a thing. And these things are verifiable. I mean, if they know that was not the truth, believe me, by now, it will have been all over the place. So they know it is true. So P2B is completely different from every other person you may want to compare him with. The only person who comes close a bit could be the late Iradoa. He was the only governor who also left some money, you know, for his state when he left. He left about 5 billion naira. He's only person who can, you know, come a bit close to P2B. But as it stands right now, P2B is, you know, in the league of his own. I must tell you, really.
Exactly. I totally agree with you, Dominic. Also coming back to the studio here, talking to Sharon, in that comparison you tried to make between Jonathan and P2B, recall that after Jonathan left office, there were retinue of EFCC cases with people from the Jonathan administration. And I think some are still even pending till now. But P2B, on the other hand, even invited EFCC to go through his 8 years in power and see if there is any misconduct of any kind, and they haven't been able to find anyone. So I think there's no room for comparison. P2B, just like you said, is different. He doesn't stand the same class with politicians. All right, we've seen overwhelming support for P2B, and a lot of people argue that there is no way P2B is going to lose these elections. It's not even possible. Like, we don't see it happening. But for someone like you now that is in the diaspora, I believe you will still be in Maryland USA, collecting some fresh air when when these elections come by. And I believe you're going to be an observer of the elections. Okay. I'd like to ask you now, do you have faith in the Independent National Electoral Commission, that's INEC, to deliver credible elections to Nigerians? Do you have faith in that system?
Well, with the introduction of beavers, there is faith. There's a little faith. Without beavers, I would have said we don't have faith in them, because we know what Nigeria is. We know what goes on. All right. But with the introduction of the new system, it has kind of restored our faith in the electoral system right now. So we are very hopeful. I mean, with what just came out of Osun State the other day, I was wondering, because from my understanding, the beavers is supposed to work like the ATM machine, right? It shouldn't give you more than you requested. So the issue of overvoting came up, and then I was shocked. I was like, how was that possible, even with beavers? But it looked as though some of those polling INEC officials at those polling units, did some dirty jobs with politicians and the rest of them. So, and to cause that problem. Now, beavers is not like 100%, foolproof, as it were. There's a room for manipulation. We know that, okay? And that is why I am saying to everybody, on the election day, before you leave your house, make your zobo, cook your jollof rice, carry it, go to the polling unit. When you vote, please stay there. Be sipping your zobo and eating your rice. Stay there. Make sure that everybody casts their vote. When they are done, stay there and let them count the vote and upload the same to INEC portal before you leave. This is no longer a time to just go and cast your vote and then go back to your house. No. Carry your zobo and your whatever it is. Go there and say, we want to make sure that we don't give them that room to manipulate anything, because we know the people we are fighting with. We know them. We know they've been in this system. They know what to do, but we don't want to give them that space. And that is why every Nigerian, when you go to vote, please stay back. Make sure you are there until the whole vote, all the votes are casted and then counted and applied to INEC before you leave. So that way we can minimize some of these things.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Dominic. I was going to ask you to give us your final words for the electorates on election day, but I think you already did that, and you said that they should carry their zobo and the rice and whatever they have, and stay there and man their votes. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Dominic. It's been a pleasure talking to you today on Diaspora Diaries. Thank you for the work that you and your team have been doing, and we would commend you and we'll ask you to continue to do that. We don't give up until victory is assured. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Pleasure being with you. Thank you.
All right. That was Dominic Carlo, ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Maryland, USA, and he has shared with us some of the things that the Take Back have been doing concerning the upcoming elections. All right, we want to commend every one of you out there putting in work, that working towards this election and supporting the candidacy of Mr. P2B, even in the grassroots, wherever you are, making a difference, even on social media with your post on your WhatsApp status, whatever it is, whatever little thing that you are doing, it is really important as we count down to the election day. All right, from me and Sharon,
yes,
we're saying thank you for viewing the program today. Don't forget that you can send us your comments on our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, at OiDatti Family TV. All right, that is where we want to see your comments. Send us your comments and we would share it on the program as well if we see something that is worth sharing. All right, you can also follow us on our personal social media handles. Mine is at official PCatch official PKACH across all platforms. Sharon?
And mine is Sharon Enemchukwu. The Enemchukwu is ENEMCHUKW. It will be showing on your screen.
It's quite long.
It's long, I know. It's my name.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. Till we come your way again tomorrow. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Yeah.
Bye for now.